Hey, listen up. I want to thank you all for being here. You know, it's been a great year for the Big Three. Co-founders Jeff Kwatinetz, Ice Cube. What a great vision the Big Three has been for so many people. Our fans love the game. The players love to play in the game, and it doesn't get any better, right? You see how much fun and passion these guys play with, and it's so much fun to watch. So, professional 3-on-3 basketball is here to stay. It's an Olympic sport, and the Big Three is leading the way. Now, I'll talk to you a little bit about the people who make it work behind the scenes. You may not know about. I'll go with Jeff Kwatinetz first. Amy Trask first. Amy is our chairman of the board. She makes everything happen behind the scenes. Q is phenomenal day to day, but these guys also put in 18, 20-hour days as well. And so I think it's important to hear from them because their contributions are what make the Big Three so successful. And I'm honored and extremely grateful to work with two such esteemed individuals. Jeff, one of the greatest entertainment lawyers in the business, co-founder of the Big Three, Harvard, Northwestern, Harvard Law. Does it get any better? You talk about our executive team. It's kind of like a dream team. Amy Trask, CEO of the Oakland Raiders for how many years?
A lot.
30 years. And so Mark
started when I was 12.
Mark Garagos is not here, but our executive team is as good as any executive team in any sport. And I'll pass the mic on to these two because you may not know a lot about them, but they are what makes the Big Three so special. Thank you.
I will tell you a very special moment and then I'll turn it over to Jeff. When we discussed hiring Nancy Lieberman, I was in a room with Jeff Kwatinetz, Ice Cube, and Clyde. And at no point whatsoever was her gender raised. And you all heard me teasing and saying, wow, they're letting women in sports now. Huh, go figure. I started my career in 1982, roughly, 82, 83. And as I said, I was 12. And to sit in a room with Ice Cube, with Jeff, with Clyde, and come in. And Nancy Lieberman's name was floated as a head coach. Not one of those men referenced her gender. And Clyde contacted Courier and Katina Mobley, and her gender was never referenced. It's not an issue. This is a league where our co-founders and co-CEOs, Jeff Kwatinetz and Ice Cube, hire without regard to race, gender, ethnicity, religion, or any other individuality, which has no bearing whatsoever on whether someone can do a job. And in that regard, they are running a business the way everyone in this country should run a business. So with that, Jeff, I turn it over to you. It is my great fortune to again work with men like you and Cube and Clyde, as I did with Al Davis, who don't give a damn whether we're women, men, about our race, our ethnicity, our religion. They just care whether we can get a job done.
It's so funny because I grew up a Raider fan. So I knew Amy before, I guess I was a stalker of sorts. I've actually known Amy 25 years. And Ice Cube has known Amy that long, and Ice Cube and I have worked together for 23 or so years. And it's been an incredible journey. Clyde Drexler is the happiest guy in the world. I say it all the time because, I mean, look at him. This is how he always is. No matter what's going on, good, bad, he's just like, man, it's all gonna be good. It's all gonna be good. And I don't always think that, but he's always right. So I just, hearing Big Baby like talk from the heart, and Corey, I got to spend a lot of time talking to him, and when he got injured that first game, he didn't quit on the league. He came out. He helped us do a lot of things on the PR side, and he said, I'm gonna get better. That's not an easy injury to come back from. and he really came back. And then, you know, you look at guys like Amari Stoudemire, you know, who I'm friends with. And he dissed me year one. You know? But he came, you know, and he was unbelievable tonight. And, you know, I know there's some NBA teams talking to him, and he, you know, he's got the fever again. And that, it's just a great thing, because I love the guy. Seeing that excitement, and then seeing a guy like Mahmoud who, I mean, that performance tonight was insane. And I mean, look at this guy's trajectory, you know? He's the first guy, you know, to take a knee or bow his head for the anthem, and he paid the price for it. But he never gave up on his passion. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's a great story because they could not beat him. They could not beat him. So, I mean, we saw some amazing basketball, but I'm really proud, you know, of what we're doing. I think this league is about, you know, I come from talent management. Ice Cube, obviously, you know, is as authentic as anyone alive. There's a reason why Amy, you know, was with Al Davis, who would be disgusted if he saw what was going on in the NFL today. I mean, maybe you feel different, but the Al that I grew up revering from age 7 and on, you know, I mean, he's the Al that gave players a second chance. You know,
Gave executives a second chance too.
you know, he believed in people, and he helped them believe in themselves. And then they had to take it from there, but he gave them that shot. And you know, the league has just been so benefited by Clyde. The respect everywhere in the world. You know, we traveled to China together, and he's just as popular there as here, you know. And it's so much work, but it's really worth it, because I think that I think players, you know, need to be more empowered. I think that we're in a time where people, you know, identity politics, and everyone's screaming and yelling at each other, and it's so good. You know, sports is just such a great way for people to come together. And how ironic, you know, like anyone who thought it was like a stunt, like getting Nancy, she won. You know, it's like, I mean, we were lucky that Clyde knew her, and that she came to a game last year, that Rick Barry brought her to a game. Because, you know, she was saying, thank you for giving us a chance. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you belonged here, thank you for giving us the chance. Because if she hadn't come to that game, she probably wouldn't have accepted it and known. But she saw it was cool and believed in it, and she brought it. So I'm just really proud of it. You know, I've always been proud to work with Cube. He's truly authentic, and you heard the guys talk about him. There is no half-ass thing with him. So I remember, you know, we worked on this thing for a year. Every day, screaming at each other, yelling, rules, this, that. There's so many, if I told you some of the crazy ideas and things, the way things came around, but there was that moment where it's like, oh man, we're really gonna do this now? You know, and it was, do we burn the ships? Right? He said, fuck yeah, let's burn the ships. And I knew that meant what those guys were talking about. And I knew that meant 24/7, because he only does things one way. You know, he doesn't put his name on anything that he doesn't believe in, doesn't know he's gonna give it 1,000%. And if it fails, then it fails, you know? You take chances, but nothing that guy will ever do will fail because he didn't give his 100%. And that's why I love him. That's why we're together so long. That's why I'm with these people. It's a dream come true. That's what I want to say.
I just want to add one thing. You all saw me turn the beer bottle around at one point, and I want to make very clear, I didn't turn it around because it's a beer bottle. Earlier today, the Big Three rang the closing bell on NASDAQ. We are a business phenom now, and I don't think that this beer brand should get free signage. So I simply turned it around so its logo would not be facing you, because until they want to pay us, and that would be my business background.
Thank you guys all for supporting. You know, please, you know, we really appreciate it. It's not all good, you know. Sometimes we deserve to have our face slapped. Sometimes we deserve kudos. But either way, we deserve the attention because we work hard, and the players really work hard. They really, really care. And so thank you.
Thank you. You got a question?
So there's been a lot of talk about Kobe, but I got another person on the radar that I'm curious about. That's Manu Ginobili. If he does actually retire from the Spurs, will you guys do everything you can to bring him in? Give him a chance?
Well, we're going to do everything short of stalking Manu. He's a perfect Big Three player. He can handle it off the dribble. He's a good two-way player, and he plays with passion. That's what the Big Three is all about. Guys who still love the game, who can get it done, and because now it's half court, and you get a week between games. These guys can still be who they are. And so the Big Three is made for Manu, and we're going to try to get his teammate, Tim Duncan, as well as Kobe, and anyone else that we think would be a great fit to help these teams win in the Big Three.
Any more questions? There you go. Oh, great one.
You guys have so much positive momentum going, you know, this year, really skyrocket. Like, what is next for the league? Like, what can people look for going forward? Outside of just marquee signings, you know, sponsorship deals going to come in. What's next for the league? Like, what would be the next step going forward?
Well, let the co-founders talk.
I mean, I think that, you know, the difference between year 1 and 2 was, you know, look, it's the most played sport in the world. I say that all the time. But when you bring professionals who have huge, you know, basketball IQ, whether it's coaches like Nancy, you know, or Cooper, or these players, the game evolves. And the game will get better because people will learn how it is a different game than 5-on-5 basketball. And look, 3-on-3 is popular everywhere in the world. So, you know, we want to bring what we do to a lot of places in the world, and you know, we want to keep getting better. So, but we'll figure all that out starting Monday. Because I'll be sleeping until then.
Video game?
Why not?
You know, we're honestly not focused on like
Give us one night.
on the specific thing. There's, you know, the thing that makes Big Three special is player empowerment, players feeling good, the camaraderie, and the speed, the quickness. There's a change going on in professional sports, you know, where, you know, our audience is young. Our audience is younger than the NBA and the NFL, especially Major League Baseball, by a lot. by generation, and you think, how did we get a younger, I mean, I have people from the NFL ask me, they cornered me on a plane, and like, how are you getting 18 to 34s? Because we can't figure it out, what are you doing? And we're not gonna tell them, but, that's really what we want to keep doing. We want to give a product or a sport that kids and next generation love. And listen, 70, 80-year-old guys love it too. Women love it too. But our audience is very young. It's very diverse, much more diverse than the other leagues. We're in a lot of countries. People watch hundreds of millions of our highlights.
Excuse me, we're broadcasting in 47 countries around the world in addition to this one. I think that's an important fact.
Yeah, people watch, our TiVo numbers are way higher than most sports. Our repeats are watched much higher, and it's because people want to see passion. The example I use is like, I grew up, I loved the band The Police. But when they got back together, everyone knew they hated each other. They were just doing a cash grab. And so I didn't go. It's like, you're a police fan, why don't you go? It's like, why do I want to go see people not have fun? It's like frankly, why I gave up my Knicks tickets. I had so much fun on the sideline. I had courtside Knicks tickets for 8 years, 4 of them. It was a time of my life. But after the Oakley thing and what they did to Melo, and I don't want to watch guys not have fun. Like, that was the coolest thing about Golden State. Before they were Golden State, the dominant. Like, when they first started up, they were like, man, you guys are having fun. And whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's other types of entertainment, what we saw today with these teams and really giving it, they're having fun. And that's what young people want to see. They want to see that people are doing things that they believe in. Some things people get paid well for, some things they don't. But hopefully, either way, they're doing it because they believe in it. And that is the most important thing. And that's what we want to embody. So.
Last question. Well, first of all, it's good to talk to y'all in person. Jeff first, in addition to the phone deal. It's actually a question for Clyde. How hard was it, or maybe how proud were you to see your former team walk away from the stage of that title? And 2, I will help you try to get Monumentum into the Big 3.
Hey, we're going to sign him up?
Before you answer that, I don't know if you were in the room when Nancy explained that you had a full cover that you turned over to me.
Yeah, Nancy is too kind. Nancy did a phenomenal job. Her ability to get guys to come together is unprecedented. What do you call her? The basketball whisperer. With a U or Q, you call her the basketball whisperer. Because she can get guys to believe in themselves, come together, play as a team, and they usually win. Nancy has got what it takes. She's got that magic it. She has it.
And don't you just love that by the time they landed, they already had the game tape with the X's and O's? Sorry, my analogy. I mean, don't you? She worked her ass off.
She works hard, constantly. Nancy, when she got the job, she called me the very next day. She wanted a tape of all of last year's games. That's typical Nancy, right? And a whole lot of other stuff. So that lets you know how much work she puts into her craft. And there's no surprise when she's very successful. She works her butt off. And the other coaches work as well. But I knew Nancy was a competitor, and she'd come in, take the ball, and just take off running with it. Now, Corey Maggette is the captain of Power. He is the guy that chose Glenn Big Baby Davis on the recommendation of the guy to my left, right? Yeah. And so Chris Anderson, Corey Maggette drafted Chris Birdman Anderson. He picked up Ryan Gomes who was injured, but a very good player. Quentin Richardson. Those are some great pickups. Xavier Salas. And then Catino Mobley was phenomenal last year. He was the only guy on that team that I coached. So it's a team unfamiliar to me. You know, Corey Maggette was injured in game 1. And so to see him come back and win the MVP lets you know how good he would have been last season. But Nancy, it's all Nancy, it's all Corey Maggette, and I am not going to take any of that credit because it's not fair. Those guys, Nancy is phenomenal. You know, to say that she is probably the most prepared coach I've ever been around is an understatement, right? And then Corey Maggette, in terms of class, the way he conducts himself as a team captain, he is nothing but a class individual. And so to see him win the MVP and to come out and have a healthy season, especially after recovering from an Achilles heel injury last season, was just phenomenal. And so to see them win gave me great pleasure, but they deserved it. They were the #1 seed. They beat the best teams all season long. And whenever Power played, every single weekend, they were always the toast of the Big Three. Three's Company was right there with them. And so was the Three-Headed Monsters. But when you are the toast of the league and everyone's after you week after week, you know, I have to tip my hat to them for just remaining professional, continuing to compete, keep their head down until they actually won the championship. So kudos to Team Power.
I just want to say one thing about the classiness of Corey. You know, he got hurt last year, like I said, and I had neck surgery last year. And he was the first guy to call me. He called me every day. And he's like, he's hurt, you know, he's going through his regimen, but he's calling me and encouraging me and like, and it wasn't like, you know, he didn't need to kiss my ass or anything. I need him, you know. The guy cares. He's a good human. I'm really happy for him. He's a good human being.
Lastly, I'd like to say one more thing about Corey Maggette. Last year in game 1, he went down, he had 15 points in the first half. Yep. And we were up at half. He came out the second half and he pulled his Achilles, right? Tore it. 2 days later, he sent me a video of him with one leg on like a little slide thing. The affected leg was up and he was pushing this thing with one leg like a scooter, saying he's getting ready for next season. If that doesn't tell you a lot about Corey Maggette, nothing will. And for about the next 6 days, he showed me his progression. I mean, the guy's incredible. But that's why that team is a champion, because they actually put in the work, they take care of themselves, they are the ultimate professionals. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.